All right, we know Reusse is going to relentlessly debate what we talked about Carlos Correa here shortly, but today is our guy Declan's 30th birthday.
All right.
He is making his first trip to Manny's Steakhouse tonight.
Ooh.
So
Who's picking up the tab? Who's picking up the tab?
The gal, the fiance, not me.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe the new father-in-law or something would be.
No. This is just the fiance and I. So yeah, she'll be picking up the tab.
They have good meat.
Yes.
That's the question. So what's your two pieces of advice from you?
Well,
advice on life starting at age 30, and then advice on what type of meat. They bring the meat out to you, and you basically point at one, and then they cook it for you.
And well, Manny's they have most people have a crab cake. They have a lobster cake that should be your appetizer. The lobster cake is very good. That's what I'd go for. And then kind of a nice little ribeye. I'd say I'm kind of a ribeye guy, more flavorful than most other steaks. Now, if it's a really good New York strip, then you can go that way too. But it's got to be a really good one. Yes.
The New York strip's typically my go-to at a steakhouse, like at a nice steakhouse, obviously like Manny's. So I'm gonna assume I'm going with the New York strip unless I'm talked out of it. But that's kind of my go.
Yeah, well, that's supposed to have the flavor, the other ones for the tenderness, and the fillets and the other things. But ribeye is pretty good too, and I think ribeye is kind of the great compromise between tenderness and flavor, but you can get one with some fat in it too. And I'm not, some of the real steak connoisseurs eat like Anthony Bourdain. He loved to eat the fat and stuff like that. If you're a real steak connoisseur, but I don't like to do that.
The fat's good though.
Yeah, I'm more of a rare steak guy too. So I just want the thing to kiss the grill just for like 5 seconds. Then I run the risk of food poisoning. Like that's fine with me. I'm totally okay with those risks.
Just walk the cow out of the kitchen, basically.
Put it on my plate.
That's what Stelly used to say. Rick Stelmazig says, "Wipe its ass and put it on the plate."
Oh, geez.
Oh my God.
I thought I'd go full quote there since we're on a podcast.
We're good. Yeah, no, that's
good.
We do not need to edit that.
Cut the horns off, wipe its rear end.
Oh,
that's awesome.
That's a heck of a visual image right there, Reusse.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I'm a medium rare guy. I can't. I need some cooking. Yeah. But I got relatives on my wife's side of the family. They will burn that stuff till it's unrecognizable. They make a hamburger and you can take them out and throw them through the yard like they're.
I think they would be offended at Manny's if that's what you were
saying. Yeah.
How's that good? I've never understood that. How's that good?
I don't get it. I don't get it either. But
sociopaths, serial killers. You need to be careful around those people.
My late great mother-in-law wasn't much of a cook, so I think she set a low standard for the family meal. So, hey, her husband died when she was in her mid-30s with 5 kids, so she had an excuse for not being a cook. She was trying to keep 5 kids out of jail, so that was and work 2 jobs and stuff like that. So yeah, she had an excuse.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so all right. So good luck at Manny's tonight, Declan.
You'll have good luck at Manny's. There's no doubt about that. That's fantastic. One of our fantastic steakhouses. That's for sure.
Yeah. And good luck to the Twins now trying to take the $285 million, burning a hole in their pocket and dispersing it to quality players. I would assume.
It doesn't sound like the John Heyman has them going after Dansby. That means he's one of Levine's one of his guys, so he must be telling them that they're going after Dansby. But it doesn't sound like from Suad's interview with Falvey yesterday. It didn't sound like they have that much interest in him. So yeah, I don't know what you got to spend it on pitching now, right?
Well, so who's out there now? Carlos Rodon's out there.
Mm-hmm.
Bassett just signed.
Yeah,
Syndergaard just signed.
I was surprised they weren't in on him. Why didn't they go get in on him?
Maybe they were too fixated, all in on.
They never were. Yeah.
On standing outside Carlos Correa's house with a boombox over their head.
They weren't that stupid that thought they were going to get him, did they?
I think they were. That's part of my. That's part of my irritation here that we can debate.
That Boris didn't. That your part of your irritation is that Boris didn't tell him, listen, if we get anything better,
yes,
we're not coming back here.
I think from the very beginning, I think 10 months ago, it was obvious they weren't going to outbid the 5 big markets that we're going to be in. But I think somewhere along the line, they got duped into thinking that they were going to get, oh, he loves it. His wife loves it here.
No,
his wife,
I don't think
has his wife been to Sausalito, California yet? Like,
no. Here's the deal. The whole plan was he's here 1 year and then Reusse Lewis plays shortstop, right? And the client, by coincidence, the agent for both is Scott Boras. So he basically told everyone that, if you talk to Boras, and those two opt-outs were just to protect him from getting a knee injury or something, right? So I guess the Twins' strategy changed when Reusse Lewis got hurt, and then Joe Pohlad was the rising power in the organization and said, "Let's do this. Let's try to keep him." So, but I don't know if you've been listening to the Mackey and Judd show. I've been telling you they're never going to get him from day one, even when he didn't need, one thing, cold. It's cold here. Who wants to play here until the middle of May and in September? B, who wants to play with nobody watching? He's been there. There's nobody at the ball games. Yeah, he can go out to San Francisco. It'll be cold there too. But it's for somebody with a lot of money, it's a better place to live, right? Somebody with a lot of money, Northern California is pretty damn good.
Yeah, and people would counter and say, well, wait a second, though, when you start to factor in taxes, but there are so many loopholes around that. A lot of these players, because they're not living in San Francisco for 6 months. They're traveling. They're in spring training for a lot of, like Joe, I'm pretty sure Joe Mauer actually maintained residency for like the majority of the time in Florida when he had the contract with the Twins.
That's for your supplemental money, but if you're earning it, you got to pay the taxes in that place. Like when Joe was getting his Twins check, he had to pay.
That was Minnesota. Okay.
But remember, now all these other states started collecting taxes from the 4 days your team was in town. Your tax man has to be a genius because they pay taxes in each state.
Everywhere you play.
But your supplemental income and your other incomes, yes, it's California will hit you hard, and you will hit you hard too.
There was a note I saw. It's the sports tax man. I think Robert Reusse, I think his name is. He's a great follow on Twitter. He has like 300,000 followers, and he tweets out all these tax information. And because the Dolphins are in California for 10 days because they had the 2 California games with a short day road trip, that Tyreek Hill owes like $200,000 in taxes because he will be there for more than 2 weeks, essentially. There's like a crazy number he has to pay in because the Dolphins have to stay in California for a bit.
Well, with the baseball guys, I thought it was just if you came to town. There was nothing like a 10 days thing. Right?
No, you get taxed if you play a game in a town.
In that town.
Yes.
Yeah. That's how states started coming up. That'd be a tough job for a tax man. But I don't think, the Giants, the Giants got duped by Aaron Judge. So then they decided to go spend their money on Correa, right? Aaron Judge, hey, call me up, Giants. He's not giving up 15 home runs a year. If the money he's trying to get, there's the guy that the Giants got duped by Aaron Judge more than the Twins did by Correa, in my opinion. But
yeah, they definitely got duped by Judge. I think just one more thing on this for me. So there's 3 reasons why you say yes when Scott Boras calls you back in March. Just whatever, cool. We'll take him. We'll take him. Whatever. I think I would have pushed back a little on the opt out after 1 year. Maybe they did, and Scott said take it. Yeah. So okay, there's 3 reasons why you enter this. Number 1, I guess, would be make it more exciting to draw more fans to the ballpark. Just make it. It's 1 year. It's fun. Carlos Correa is here. Well, they had, I think, the lowest attendance non-COVID since Target Field, so that failed.
Yes.
Okay, number 2 is
lowest since 2001.
Yeah. Okay, number 2 is we've got this awesome player now, this great defensive shortstop. We've got Buxton, who's going to be healthy for, I don't know, half the games. Let's build a playoff roster around him. Let's make some actual pitching moves. And they finished 14 games back of first place, in part because they traded for 2 pitchers that were injured. So they couldn't, however it happened, they couldn't build a playoff team around him. Okay. Well, the third option, and I know people laugh at this, but if you have a 1-year asset like him, and they're kind of playing you anyways, hey, we're just going to park him here for a year, and then he's going to sign a 13-year contract somewhere else. I would be saying, okay, well, if they're going to use us, and we're not in the play, and we're playing at a 90 loss pace starting in May, I'm shopping him.
I think they were still in first place August 2nd, right?
Yeah, but they were. I mean, you said it all year. They were
good, but on the trading deadline, they went and got 3 pitchers. It would have looked kind of stupid to go and get 3 pitchers and then trade your best player. So
if Malley hadn't, and I wish I would have Googled Tyler Malley injury before that trade, because I'm on the record on Twitter saying, "Oh, this is great," and then we find out, oh wait, he was on the injured list with a bum shoulder for like the entire duration of July leading up to that. Go get an actual healthy pitcher. That's my beef. Same with Paddock.
Paddock
but Taylor Rogers is garbage. Not when they traded him.
No,
he was an asset.
And Paddock is still a mystery to me that I will never that you not only made that trade, you threw in $6 million.
Yeah, you threw in paid Rogers.
You threw in $6 million to pay Rogers. I don't think our guy Taylor's got a job yet. This team could use a left-handed reliever.
Bring him back.
Bring him back because it's going to be at a discount. It was amazing. He started out there. I think he saved his first 17.
Yeah.
And then he was terrible after that. And the team that should be kicking itself in the ass is the Brewers. They traded Hader and he went out there and was out of his mind good. So
that was a really weird trade.
Right now, they got to give up the idea that they're on the cusp of something here, and they gotta refigure this whole operation. Are they going to really bring Kepler back because they think he might be able to beat the shift? I think he's only got 1 year left, right? Isn't it this year? I suppose there's no market for him, so they have.
Well, there was a very vague report from The Athletic a week ago that said we're hearing that Max Kepler has drawn trade interest, but there was no other. There weren't like teams listed or anything. So I wonder if the Twins just kind of floated that and said, "Hey."
That wasn't from Bend Over, was it?
They might have been.
No, Ben was off that day. Ben took that day off. Had some errands to run.
I found a new one of those guys. I was looking for some possibilities. Ronchi, R-O-N-C-H-E-E. It's a pretty good little.
Yeah, he's something out there.
He's broken some big stories for sure.
That's credible. That sounds credible.
So Patrick, here's my question though. So because I agree, I wouldn't have given a player 13 years, but for the Twins fans who are frustrated, what do you tell them? Because what's there to be excited about?
Well, I wouldn't have given him 10 either for that kind of money either. But the 10 or 13. But was there that? Okay, how much was there excited to be about if Correa had come back? He's not that popular. He's a good player, but he's average. He's only played 135 games. 3 times in his career? This was one of them. I don't know if there's anything to be if they don't fix their pitching, there's nothing to be excited about. And we're going to get to spring training. They're going to tell us Kirilloff looks good and blah 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 and all of this stuff. And then who's gonna actually hold up and play? Who's going to hold up and play here? Bend Over had Reusse being traded for a pitcher of some promise down there in Miami. But I think if they trade Reusse, they are really in trouble with the fans. But the fans, listen, I said this on Twitter. I mean, this was a perfect opportunity. the tremendous amount of Twins negative people out on social media and other places. This was a layup, because if you don't sign Correa, you're cheap. And if you do, you paid him too much. How can you be that stupid?
Yep.
How can you use so much of your payroll on him without spending it on pitching? Then what are you going to do about your pitching? So it was a no lose for the critics, that's for sure.
There's also a third category, because Judd and I both agree we would not have. I could listen on 10. I'm not giving him 13 years either. I'm not ripping him for that. I just think it's like, of course, the Twins are just standing there like holding their empty bag, like, oh.
Yeah,
it's just kind of classic.
We thought he might take our 2. Listen, if the Giants hadn't come along, and the year 10 years 285 was the only thing on the table until the January, he was still going to wait.
Yeah.
Boris is still going to wait. He always waits until what he gets. He just finally got what he wanted from the Giants, but he's going to wait. He was going to wait out your 285 forever, because he was, he'll get what he wants from somebody in February.
Yeah.
And,
so I remember when they were hot at the beginning of the year, they were 8 or 10 games over 500, and you came on here every week and said it. You even said specifically they're going to finish with, I think it was like 77 or 79 wins, and they finished with 78.
Yeah.
So you've covered enough baseball to have a spidey sense about these teams. What is this team? Let's say they add a couple player, like I don't know, they don't add Dansby Swanson, but they find a way to add like another rotation arm and something else. What's this team tracking for?
I think that they have a chance. What did they finish 4th in the division this year, right? Or did they finish
third? They did finish 3rd.
Finish 3rd. I see no hope. I don't see any good. Buxton. Somebody the other day. I mean, a guy who's a pretty good guy on Twitter. Usually, he sees Reusse Lewis in center field and Buxton playing first base, and I said, "Let's do that. Let's take a guy with a bad knee that can't stay healthy in center field, where you have time to react when the ball goes up in the air, and put him at first base, whereas the number of quick movements required might be number 1 in all of baseball."
Yeah.
I mean, the theories we're reading out there, but no, I'm not optimistic at all about this team. And get me a starter and a reliever. Give me a really good starter and a reliever. Show me Maeda's healthy. Then maybe they'll win half of their games. But right now, I see them as a well under 500 team that's going to be irrelevant.
What's Buxton worth at first base? That's my question. Like this whole thing about because it's been thrown out there before. What's he worth at first base?
Yeah. Well, who's thrown it out?
Shooty threw it out.
Who?
Like 2 months ago. Charlie
Phil
Walters.
Phil McCracken, I thought it was on
Yeah.
Twitter. Amanda Hug and Kiss.
Amanda Hug and Kiss.
I don't know.
All the Simpsons bits.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of plans can you make if he's going to play 60 games in center field? What kind of plans can you make? I've seen all the Gilberto Celestino I need to. He can't get a hit. He doesn't run. No, he hits the ball. He might run to 3rd instead of 1st. Terrible on the bases. I don't need him. I guess here's another part of the problem. We've probably seen the best we'll ever see from Nick Gordon, right?
Yes,
they're going to now start actually looking at him to see how they're going to get him out, right? Because they kind of let him go. And we might see the best as a hitter we've ever seen in Miranda, too. So there's, this, Miranda, look at him. Yeah, he was great. Okay. This could be him, but it could get worse, too. It's,
we're always kind of projecting. And by we, I mean, I think the front office does this too lately. It's like, okay, if everyone breaks out and performs at their best level, that's not what happens.
That's 2019. That's 2019.
Yes.
That happened. And it is never going to happen again in my lifetime. that everybody decides to have their best year all together. I mean, but not Buxton, but you know what we still haven't done? Somebody's got to do it. Somebody who's got time, and I don't know who's the writer in town to do it, but what happened to Miguel? This is a phenomenal story, isn't it?
Yes, we've been saying this for years.
Like what he was going to be, and he's whimpering out of town after hitting 1 home run and driving in 3 runs his last year here.
Still doesn't have a job.
It is the biggest twin story, right? Like of the last 2 or 3 years, I think. Like in terms of stories that have not been covered deep enough.
Wes Johnson up there as well.
Well, Wes is up there too, but
I like the Wes Johnson.
I guess what's bothering me more about the Twins is this attitude that everything's going smoothly, we got Carlos not signing here is the least of their problems. There's got to be some panic here about where the hell is your pitching development? There's got to be some panic about who are the stars on the way. They still talking about Austin Martin. He had about 240 in Wichita last year. You stole him for Brios, blah, blah, blah. But let's go to spring training with some reality here that this, you got a lot of guys who got to get better, who got to get healthier, or you're going to be a complete train wreck. Let's not be walking around with smiles on our face. Let's be walking around saying we're in the outhouse, and we got to find out of who's coming that can play. And if the best shortstop turns out to be Brooks Lee in spring training, let's not worry about whether he's going to have the more service time 6 years from now. You got to take the guys you got that really have some talent and really have some maturity, no matter who they are and where they're coming from, and put some kind of a team on the field that knows what the hell it's doing and is going to play and is going to be committed and is not going to come in and tell you they got a sore ankle. You're going to play. And they should be in a panic. They shouldn't be celebrating their new $400 jerseys. I told you, by the way, I went to try to look at one of the Twin Cities one for my grandson with a name on it in the back. Mm-hmm. $470.
Oh my God.
And it's, you march out the whole, new look everything. And then you immediately piss off everybody by charging these ungodly prices for them rather than keeping them in the market.
It's amazing.
Somebody get your head out of the place where the sun doesn't shine over there. Panic about your team, and don't get me to have Juice. What was Juice's last name?
Sutton.
Juice Sutton. I saw him last night at the Wild Games doing great.
It's the new era of Twins baseball. Why? Why is it a new era of Twins baseball? Why? Show me something on the field. Show me a product down there next spring. Right now, it's just slapping it together. And I don't think Correa was the golden elixir. If they'd signed him, it would have covered some things up. But I think another reason he's not back here, money being A, B, he wants to win. I don't think he sees any chance to win here. So
why? Yeah. What this? The word I keep coming back to is just it's arrogance. It's either arrogance or aloofness. This franchise,
I don't know what it is.
Kind of bumbles around. They're TC Bear, man. They're just Teflon. We're just hey everybody.
We're not. They're not bad guys. I'm not sure it's arrogance. It's a lack of urgency, I think.
Yeah. So you've had, but in back-to-back years, though, you've had, so last year it was Jim Pohlad, this is after the 2021 season with the infamous quote to Shooter that I think this front office is an A+ front office. I get the vote of confidence thing, but really, it just shows how out of touch you are. And then Joe takes over, and in his first interview with Suhan, he condescendingly tells everyone, well, I wouldn't expect people that aren't in the building to understand how great this front office is, and it will all bear fruit in the end. It's like, okay.
This is the end. This is year 7. This is year 7. This is, the old regime, even Calvin and then Carl and the Andy McPhail tree, they had endless opportunities, right? There was never, but that was the big loyalty thing. But these guys are, I don't care what, they're from someplace else, and they got to earn it. And right now they aren't earning it. 2019, you had big hope. 2020, okay, they won a mini division in a COVID year, but this is two backwards going years in a row, and they got to show up this spring with not with a Cincinnati rejected shortstop and other things, right? Instead of having a Cincinnati rejected shortstop, take a young guy and let him play. Let's see something. Come on.
Yeah, it's an unserious franchise until they become serious.
Yes,
that's what they are.
I will say they're doing what everybody else tries to do, and they're trying to. Every franchise now, modern college, pros, whatever, they try to put lipstick on a pig, right? I mean, that's the way they do it, and they're able to get that message out. The one group that hasn't been successful in doing that really is the Twins, because they get killed, man. Everything in the Star Tribune that's about the Twins is got 300 negative comments at the bottom of it,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they gotta do something here. They gotta get good words here. They gotta get serious, Phil. You're right.
Twins Pro Shop has these though, Pat. So if you'd like to
what's that cost?
Yeah, I'm sure it's about $40 probably.
Yeah,
35.
That is, there it is. Thanks, Juice.
You can get your SKOR North hats if you want on skornorth.com/shop for less than $40. I'll tell you that much.
Really? Oh, wow.
skornorth.com/shop.
What's the SKOR North hat look like?
Well, there's a purple. Well, we don't have the purple daily are out of stock right now.
Okay,
really?
Well, put those back in. I'd like to get them back.
Yep. We also have, Pat, if you want, we have Mr. Fourth Quarter Comeback Kirko Chains designs too. So if you're hooded sweatshirt for the holidays.
I watched your vent line the other night, and I was very disappointed. Not too many drunks. I want drunks after defeat. I want drunks.
Yeah, we had a couple that would usually have been drunk but weren't for some reason, like Bob in Pennsylvania.
It makes it hard. It's a little more complicated. You can't just call in now. You got to go log in, and when you're drunk, it's harder, probably, right? So.
It probably is a little. The barrier to entry is a little harder, but they trust me. The drunks have figured it out. They've
infiltrated more than once.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. They've gotten.
I want mad drunks after Viking games. That's the secret of post-game shows.
Yes. All right, Pat. Well, that was therapeutic for everyone here, and we'll see how they spend their $285 million now.
The therapy is they're in big trouble. That's the therapy, right? Okay.
Yep. All right. See you, Pat. All right. That's wrapping with Reusse here. You can find all of these too on the Reusse Unchained podcast feed now. Pretty much everything we do with Reusse available on the Mackey and Judd feed and also the Reusse Unchained feed. If you just want Reusse injected right into your veins. See you guys.